Discover the incredible moment a millionaire uncovered a heartwarming dance that changed everything. On a chilly autumn evening, the leaves danced whimsically in the crisp air, painting the sidewalks in fiery reds and golden yellows. In a quaint small town in Ohio, Lisa was wrapping up her evening dance class, the sound of children's laughter echoing through her humble studio. The walls would come alive with colorful posters of ballet dancers, each one reflecting not just beauty, but the dreams of every child that stepped inside. Despite the nagging shadows of financial struggle that loomed larger with each passing day, Lisa poured everything she had into this space. Teaching these kids wasn't just a job, it was her heartbeat. Meanwhile, in the larger, bustling city 5 miles away, David, a wealthy businessman, was preparing for a charity gala that promised high opulence and importance. But deep down, he craved something that money couldn't buy: a glimpse into a simpler life. As he drove through Lisa's town, his curiosity was sparked by the warmth of its charm. His fancy car pulled to a stop outside Lisa's studio. As he looked through the windows, he caught sight of the children practicing. Their energy, their passion, something stirred within him, momentarily melting away the sharp edges of his corporate life. It felt like watching pure joy unfold. Inside, Lisa faced a different battle. Her daughter, Emma, was in a tug-of-war with her own dreams, yearning to escape to a big city with dance academies and endless opportunities. The more Emma dreamed, the more fearful Lisa became of losing her. Not wanting to hold Emma back, but terrified of what that might mean for their bond. Lisa's dance studio had always been their safe haven, but now it felt like it was hanging by a thread. In that moment of vulnerability, David unexpectedly walked through the door, his polished suit contrasting sharply with the colorful chaos of the studio. His proposition to sponsor Lisa's studio was tempting. A showcase at the charity event, he said, excitement glinting in his eyes. You can secure your future, Lisa. But would it come at the cost of compromising her values? The fear of losing her independence gripped her tightly. As days turned into a flurry of rehearsals, tensions soared. Lisa and Emma sniped at each other, each misunderstanding the other's dreams and fears. Just as they were both ready to break before the performance that could change everything, something remarkable happened. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The night of the gala arrived, filled with the cacophony of nerves and excitement. The community buzzed with anticipation, but for Lisa and Emma, the stakes had never felt higher. Just moments before their cue, Emma and Lisa exchanged glances loaded with unspoken words. With a sudden breath, they found themselves on stage, not perfectly scripted dancers, but two flawed, emotional figures expressing each other's struggles in movement. A freestyle dance-off unfolded, transforming their misunderstandings into a beautiful ballet of connection and love. As David watched from the shadows, he realized the true performance was not the technical choreography, but the raw beauty of their bond. The music faded, but the applause held a different weight. Honesty, resolve, and the promise of hope lingered in the air, yet amidst the thunderous applause, question marks loomed over their heads. Would Lisa and Emma bridge the gap between dreams and reality? And how would David's heart be forever changed by the remarkable moment he had just witnessed? The story was poised on the brink of transformation, longing for what was yet to unfold. As the applause washed over them, Lisa and Emma stood breathless on stage, basking in the warmth of the audience's appreciation. For the first time in a long while, the air felt lighter, the burdens they carried somehow less daunting. A single tear rolled down Lisa's cheek, catching the spark of stage lights, as she realized she had shared something profound with her daughter. Emma, still catching her breath, glanced at her mother. Their eyes met, and without a word, they understood the importance of what had just transpired. This performance wasn't just a culmination of rehearsals, it was a reckoning. Through their dance, they had unveiled their hearts, each step a testament to their struggles and an embrace of each other's dreams. David stood at the edge of the crowd, his heart pounding with something he hadn't felt in years. The magic of the moment tugged at him, pulling him away from his world of numbers and deals. He had witnessed not just a dance but a connection that transcended all boundaries. It stirred something within him, igniting a yearning for authenticity that he had buried deep beneath layers of wealth and expectation. What had started as a mere curiosity had become a moment of revelation. As the audience slowly began to disperse, Lisa and Emma found themselves backstage, their previous tensions fading like the final notes of the music. Emma threw her arms around her mother, holding on tighter than she ever had before. "We did it, Mom. You were amazing." Her eyes sparkled with a mixture of pride and relief. Lisa hugged her back, cradling her daughter's head against her shoulder. "You were incredible, Emma. I was worried I didn't want to lose you to those big city dreams." Emma pulled away slightly, her eyes searching Lisa's. "You won't lose me. But we need to talk about what happens next. I can't just stay here forever, and you know that too." The warmth of love was quickly replaced with the cold reality of their diverging paths. Lisa's heart sank a little. She had hoped this night would seal their bond, not pull them apart. "We can figure it out, sweetheart. You don't have to decide everything tonight." David, still floating on the emotional high of what he witnessed, approached them. "Excuse me," he said, a hint of nervousness in his voice. It was breathtaking. "You both have something very special." "Thank you, Mr. Davis," Lisa replied gently, remembering the proposition from days ago. "We appreciate your support." He hesitated, then added, "I would love to help you bring this to more people. Your studio. This performance needs to be seen. What if we collaborated? I could help you create something bigger and more impactful." The offer hung in the air, and for a heartbeat, all three of them held their breath. The excitement was palpable, but so were the risks. Emma's eyes widened, envisioning a world where dance didn't just exist in their small town but flourished beyond it. But Lisa felt a tightening in her chest. "David," she stammered. "I need time to think through this." David nodded, sensitive to her hesitation. "Of course. No pressure. Just think about the possibilities." Back in the car, driving home through the still, quiet streets, Lisa caught a glimpse of the autumn leaves swirling in the light of street lamps. For each leaf that fell, there was a thought of how change was all around them. Would they embrace the winds of change, or would they hold fast to the familiar ground they knew? Emma broke the silence, her voice softer now. "Mom, even if I go, this studio is part of me. We'll find a way to keep our dreams close, right?" The road ahead felt uncertain, the future unwritten. They were at a crossroads, holding tightly to their love while facing the unknown. As they pulled into the driveway, the main door creaked slightly, almost like it was beckoning them inside. What would shape their next steps? How would the evening's performances echo into their choices tomorrow? The driveway was cloaked in shadows, the dim light from the porch flickering like their hopes. Lisa paused for a moment, her hand resting on the door handle, heavy with indecision. She could feel Emma's breath behind her, an unspoken anticipation hanging in the air. "Mom." Emma's voice broke through the silence. "Do you think it's all talk? What David suggested? Can we really go beyond this place?" Lisa exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of her fears pressing down. "I don't know, Emma. It sounds incredible, but what if it changes everything? Our lives here, the studio, us." Her daughter stepped closer, a spark of determination lighting her eyes. "But isn't that what we wanted? To grow? To reach for more?" Lisa contemplated, remembering how much effort they had put into the studio, building it from the ground up with love and passion. She didn't want the dream to flicker out just as it was starting to glow, but she also felt scared of losing Emma to ambitions that felt larger than their world. "We can still be a family even if you chase your dreams," Emma urged. But I need you to trust that I can handle it. Across town, David sat in his car, staring at the studio from a distance. The vibrant lights had dimmed, but the energy lingered, like a distant melody resonating in his heart. No matter how lucrative his business ventures had been, he felt hollow until tonight. Watching Lisa and Emma dance stirred a part of him he thought was long buried. He wanted more than just success, he craved connection, purpose. Lisa finally opened the door, stepping inside the familiarity of their home. The cozy warmth was comforting but felt stifling compared to the bright chaos of their performance. She flipped on the light, and the living room filled with soft illumination, highlighting framed photographs of memories built over the years. "What if we have a little time to think?" Lisa suggested, hesitating before sitting on the couch. "Let us not rush into anything." Emma joined her, tucking her feet beneath herself. "I understand, but I can't just be the same girl forever. There's a world out there waiting for me." Her words sparked something in Lisa, a flicker of recognition that echoed with every heartbeat. Perhaps it wasn't just about Emma leaving, it was about embracing the possibilities for both of them. "I just want you to be happy," Lisa said softly, reaching for Emma's hand. "I will be, Mom. Just promise me you won't hold me back. Let us explore together even from a distance." Suddenly, a text buzzed through Emma's phone, shattering the moment of contemplation. She glanced at the screen, excitement rushing in. "It's David. He wants us to meet tomorrow to discuss more about the performance and his ideas for expanding." Lisa's heart sank at the thought of yet another discussion about the future that felt precarious. "Emma, I'll be careful." "I promise," Emma interrupted her mother gently, yearning in her voice. For a brief moment, uncertainty reigned in the room. They exchanged glances, an unspoken understanding dissolving the walls that seemed to grow between them. "Okay," Lisa finally said, feeling the warmth of courage start to bloom within her. "Let us see what he has to say." As they sat together, the day's event still swirlingly fresh in their minds, both knew they stood on the edge of something transformative. They had an opportunity, but it came with new challenges and heartaches, new fears and hope intertwined. The next morning brought a fresh breeze through the open window, ushering in the sunlight that streamers over their kitchen table. Would it illuminate their path or blind them with possibilities? "Mom!" Emma's voice rang through the air, vibrant with enthusiasm. "What do I wear for this meeting? We can't just go in looking ordinary." Lisa smiled, realizing how much this meant to her daughter. "Let us find something special then." As they rummaged through outfits, anticipation filled the air, but within Lisa lingered a haunting question. Would this venture be the bridge to their dreams, or would it tear apart the very fabric of their family? The urgency of their next decision loomed large, unspooling like a thread caught beneath a needle. Each stitch woven together could either bind them closer or pull them apart. But moments before stepping out the door, Lisa hesitated again, wondering what she was truly ready to embrace. Would today be the day they risked everything? Emma stood before the mirror, adjusting a dazzling blue dress that perfectly hugged her figure. Her reflection sparkled with excitement, matching the hope in her eyes. "What do you think, Mom?" she asked, spinning around to showcase the vibrant fabric. Lisa smiled, feeling a swell of pride but also a touch of apprehension. "It looks amazing, sweetheart. Just like a star ready to shine," she replied, though her heart thudded with uncertainty. She wanted Emma to shine, but she feared what that might mean for their little world. With breakfast prepared and the sun streaming in, the kitchen felt electric. "This could be the start of something big for us," Emma said, her enthusiasm contagious. "Can you imagine? Our studio could be more than just a community space." Lisa nodded, but her mind swirled with worries. What if this was the moment everything changed forever? What if the dreams they built together took Emma far away? "Are you nervous?" Emma's voice broke through Lisa's thoughts, drawing her back to the present. "A little," Lisa admitted. "But I'm also proud. You deserve this chance." Emma beamed, then it was her turn to reassure. We're in this together, Mom. No matter what happens today. Just then, the clock ticked loudly, reminding them of the time. They grabbed their bags and stepped out into the crisp morning. The driveway felt different this time, less like a barrier and more like a gateway to new possibilities. As they approached David's building, Lisa took slow, deliberate breaths. Emma marched ahead, her vibrant energy ringing out as she gestured animatedly at the world around her. The bustle of the city thrummed beneath them, horns honked, street vendors called, and everything felt alive. Arriving at the studio, Lisa noticed David waiting near the entrance. He was dressed sharply, that familiar charm radiating from him. Emma waved, her excitement bubbling over, but Lisa hesitated. The connection she once felt with David now seemed tangled with complexities. "Hey! You both look fantastic." David greeted them, his smile wide and inviting. Lisa forced herself to return the smile, though her mind was loud with doubts. "Thanks." Emma responded eagerly, exchanging glances with David that felt electric. Lisa couldn't help but notice how comfortable they were with each other. "Shall we?" David suggested, leading them inside. The studio buzzed with the energy of creativity, dancers warmed up, music floated through the air. As they settled into a side room, David pulled out his ideas for the performance, a vision bursting with excitement and promise. Emma leaned forward, her eyes sparkling as David spoke about expanding the studio's reach. "Imagine a bigger stage. More dancers. A real performance," he said, his voice rising with passion. Lisa watched her daughter's face light up. "What do you think, Mom?" Emma asked, glancing at Lisa, searching for approval. She opened her mouth but paused. The thrill in Emma's eyes was undeniable, but the ripple of fear tightened in her chest. "I think," Lisa began, her heart racing, "I think that's a huge decision." David's gaze turned serious. "But think of the opportunities, Lisa. This could be everything you both dreamed of." "Everything," she echoed softly, wondering if the dreams they had were shifting right in front of her eyes. In that moment, Lisa felt the weight of a choice looming larger than herself. She could see their path unfolding, one foot in the familiar world they had built and another stepping cautiously into the unknown. Emma reached for Lisa's hand, squeezing it. "We'll figure it out together, right?" But as excitement crackled in the room, the shadows of doubt still lingered. Would she have the courage to support Emma's dreams if it meant letting go of her own fears? The discussion flowed around them, but Lisa felt lost in her thoughts. As they looked ahead at the possibilities, she wondered what the next step would mean for them as a family. Just then, Emma's phone buzzed again, drawing her attention. "It's Sarah. She's wondering if we're in." Lisa's breath caught. Could this really be the moment they would leap together? The answer hung in the air, electrifying and precarious. Would they embrace this new adventure or hold back, fearful of what lay ahead? And as they exchanged glances filled with curiosity and terror, one question remained: were they ready to face whatever changes awaited them on this journey? Emma's fingers danced over the screen as she read Sarah's message aloud. "She wants to know if we're ready for this performance. Mom, we have to decide." Her voice bubbled with enthusiasm, but Lisa felt a knot tightening in her stomach. "Take a minute and think," she managed to say, forcing a calmness she didn't feel. "This is a big decision, Emma. We need to consider everything." David chimed in, "I get it, Lisa. But isn't it time to really push the boundaries? You both have so much talent." His eyes gleamed with excitement, every word wrapping around Emma, pulling her into a vision that felt almost palpable. Emma's breath hitched slightly, and she turned to David, her face alight with possibility. "But what if this is our moment? We've talked about it for so long. What if we miss our chance?" Lisa closed her eyes for a split second, battling the storm within. She thought of the dreams they had nurtured, painterly brushes painting vivid scenes of a nurturing studio, a cozy life. What if letting go of that dream meant losing the connection they had? Listen, Lisa said, finding her voice as she looked into her daughter's eager eyes. A bigger stage could be amazing, but it also means more pressure. It could change everything. David interjected with genuine urgency, but change is what brings growth. You both could inspire so many people. Think of the message you'd send. The three stood in the small room, the air tinged with thick tension and unspoken fears. Emma bit her lip, an uneasy look crossing her features. What if I can't do it, Mom? What if I disappoint you? That struck Lisa squarely in the heart. Sweetheart, you could never disappoint me, she whispered, rushing to embrace Emma. The warmth of the hug felt like solace, but it only increased her turmoil. You're still my daughter, no matter what happens. Emma's eyes glistened. Then let us do it, Mom. Let us dive in together. The determination in her voice sent tremors through Lisa, both a dramatic chord of pride and fear weaving through her insides. At that moment, Sarah's buzz on Emma's phone sliced through the silence. The anticipation in the air perked up. Emma's thumb hesitated over the screen, the message gleaming with potential. What do you want to say? Lisa asked, her heart racing. Yet, a part of her held back, pinching the pulses of joy and fear into a small, confused ball. I want to say yes, Emma began, looking at David, then back at Lisa. But I need to hear you believe it too. Lisa's heart clenched. She could see the path they could walk, glittering under the lights of success, but also a fog they could lose themselves in. With everyone's eyes on her, Lisa realized this moment was more than a decision about a performance. It was about trust, belief, and a leap into the unknown. Taking a deep breath, she finally said, if you truly believe this is what you want, then I'll support you. But it has to be together. We have to promise to communicate, okay? Emma's face shone with relief. Together. She exclaimed, enveloping Lisa in another tight hug. David nodded, grinning. This is going to be phenomenal. Just as the excitement began to settle, a heavy silence fell upon them. They exchanged a collective deep breath as the weight of their decision loomed. Suddenly, Emma's phone buzzed repeatedly. She answered, her face lighting up again, but Lisa could sense another storm brewing inside her. Emma suddenly paused. You're serious? Her voice dropped to almost a whisper. How could she say that? Lisa felt anxiety grip her, shadows whispering in her thoughts. What could Sarah have said that sent a ripple through Emma's excitement? As Emma turned to her, eyes wide and fearful, Lisa knew they were about to be tested in ways they hadn't even anticipated. What are we going to do now? Emma asked, the question hanging heavily in the air. And at that moment, Lisa realized they had embarked on a roller coaster of dreams and fears, with twists and turns they couldn't yet imagine. But as the sound of the studio grew louder, it became clearer somehow, they would have to face whatever awaited them. What awaited them now could change everything again. Would they be ready to embrace another surprise? Emma's face paled as the silence enveloped her. The once bright excitement that filled the room felt distant, replaced by an unseen weight. What did Sarah mean? She whispered, her thumb hovering over the screen, unwilling to scroll down. Lisa reached for her daughter's hand. What did she say? Her own heart raced, mirroring Emma's unease. Just something about the performance not being a good fit for us, Emma said, her voice fragile, breaking like glass. She said we're not ready for this, that it could ruin our chances if we don't nail it. David, sensing the shift, moved closer, glancing between the two. Maybe she just wants what's best for you, he offered gently, though his brow furrowed with uncertainty. But it was too late. The doubts had already crept in, muddying the waters of Emma's resolve. Lisa took a moment to breathe, searching for the right words, the words that might offer comfort and hope. You know how hard it is to perform, she said, her voice steady. But that doesn't mean you can't try. Or even that failure is the end. Emma shook her head, tears glimmering in her eyes. What if she's right? What if I can't do it and I embarrass us both? The room grew heavy with emotion. Lisa pulled Emma into a close embrace, feeling the warmth of her daughter's uncertainty intertwined with the love they had cultivated over years. "Listen, sweet girl. You have talent, and that talent deserves a chance. No matter what happens, we'll face it together, remember?" Emma nodded against her, though the fight wasn't out of her eyes yet. "But what if together isn't enough?" Lisa took a step back, holding Emma's shoulders. "Then we find our way through it. Together. Just like we always have." For a fleeting moment, she allowed a glimpse of her own fears to surface. The stakes felt higher than ever, and she wasn't sure if they were equipped for the challenges ahead. It scared her deeply. Just as Emma seemed to regain a fraction of her courage, her phone buzzed again. "Are you coming?" It read, building tension within Emma's still frail resolve. "We really need you both today. Everyone is counting on you." David caught on quickly, his excitement shifting gears. "Maybe this isn't the time to rethink your commitment. Think of what you've practiced. Think of the joy." Emma glanced at him, then back at her phone, fingers trembling over the screen. "But what if I let everyone down? Or, what if you surprise yourself?" David pressed, his voice echoing with enthusiasm that felt infectious. "What if you show them and yourself just how strong you are?" Lisa watched as Emma's expression changed slowly, a small spark igniting in her eyes. That little flicker of defiance reminded Lisa of the girl who once danced through the kitchen, twirling without a care. "It's just fear talking, dear. Channel that, let it fuel you," Lisa encouraged. Emma finally took a deep, measured breath. "You're right," she said with newfound determination. "I can't let her feelings decide my fate." With a resolve that filled the room, Emma hit the reply button. Before she sent her answer, she paused, looking up from the screen. "You both are coming with me, right? We face this together." Lisa smiled, feeling buoyed again by Emma's spirit. "Always." David chimed in, "Absolutely. You ready for your moment?" The corner of Emma's mouth curved into a smile. "Yeah, let us show them what we've got." As they all stood there, the air charged with anticipation, Lisa felt hopeful for the first time since the message had arrived. But as Emma finally pressed send, a flood of uncertainty washed over Lisa once again. What had they just committed to, and at what cost? "All right," Emma said, taking a step forward, her shoulders back. "Let us go and show them." But little did they know, the revealing truth about Sarah's concerns was just beginning to unravel, and it could change everything even more than they dared to imagine. Would their decision truly bind them, or would it begin to tear them apart? The drive to the theater felt like a scene from a movie, each mile growing heavier with the weight of anticipation. Emma sat in the back seat, her heart fluttering, a mix of excitement and trepidation. The familiar landscape blurred by, but her thoughts were far from the scenery outside. "Are you ready for this?" David's voice broke through her reverie, glancing at her through the rearview mirror. Emma forced a smile, her stomach in knots. I think so. I hope so." "You will be," he assured her, confidence radiating from him like sunshine. "You've put in the work, and no one knows that better than you." Emma looked at her mother, who was keeping her focus on the road, but Lisa's grip on the steering wheel told a different story. The tension rolled off her like static electricity filling the car. As they pulled into the theater's parking lot, Emma noticed others arriving too. Familiar faces began to materialize, fellow performers, friends, and teachers, all with smiles that veiled their own nerves. The air buzzed with chatter, the mix of laughter and anxiety swirling together. Stepping out of the car, Emma inhaled deeply, the scent of popcorn mingling with the distant sound of music. It felt like stepping onto a tightrope, the balance between hope and fear was thin but there. She could see the stage lit up in the distance, the spotlight beckoning her, yet holding a strong grip of uncertainty in its glow. Emma started walking towards the entrance when Sarah suddenly appeared, her expression unreadable. "Emma," she called, causing Emma's heart to stumble. Taking a deep breath, Emma pushed her worries down. "Hey. I just wanted to clarify." Sarah hesitated, a grave seriousness in her voice. About the performance. Emma braced herself, remembering the message that instigated all these thoughts. "I know. I've thought a lot about what you said." Sarah studied her for a moment. "And? I'm not going to let your opinion scare me away." Emma's voice was stronger than she felt. "I'm here to perform. I want to show everyone I'm ready for this." Sarah tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, surprised. "You sound different. I was worried you'd shy away after our last talk. I didn't want to pressure you." "Maybe it was the pressure that made me realize I want this," Emma replied, her heart still racing but determination flooding in. Less sure, Sarah shifted her weight, arms crossed. "Just be careful. I know how fragile confidence can be." Before Emma could respond, a staff member called for everyone to gather for the pre-show briefing. The group began moving, the weight of expectation strong in the air. "See you out there," Emma said to Sarah and followed her mother and David inside. As they settled in their seats, the lights dimmed, and the opening music began to play. Emma felt each beat resonating through her. With every note, her nerves danced along, but somewhere deep inside, a quiet strength began to emerge. She stole a glance at her mother, who was nodding in rhythm, a proud smile illuminating her face. That small piece of encouragement sent warmth cascading through Emma. The curtain rose, revealing a stage alive with colors and energy. Every dancer was ready, every heartbeat in echo with the music. Emma took a deep breath, full of resolve. This was her moment, but then, as her thoughts swirled with hopes and dreams, a figure stepped into the light, one that made Emma clutch her seat. It was her old rival, Jenna, who had left to pursue fame elsewhere. Suddenly, her presence felt like a storm. The moment hung in the air, electric with tension. Emma's pulse quickened. This was about to get complicated. What had she signed up for, and could she still find her voice in the crowd? Next to her, Lisa gripped her hand tightly, a silent promise of support, yet Emma felt the challenge grow as Jenna smirked from across the stage. It was time to rise above, but could she truly shine? The music swelled, filling the theater with an energy that made Emma's heart race. She watched Jenna with a mixture of fear and defiance as the spotlight glared down like judgment itself. Jenna had always been the star, the one who effortlessly commanded attention, while Emma felt like a shadow, always living in the periphery. But that night, this was Emma's chance, her moment to step into the light. The dancers moved gracefully, their bodies telling stories as Emma felt the rhythm pulse through her. The choreography called for confidence, a quality that Jenna seemed to have in spades. Emma felt her mind swirl with doubt, but she clung to her mother's hand, using it as an anchor. Lisa's fingers squeezed Emma's reassuringly, reminding her she wasn't alone. As the first act unfolded, Emma could hear the crowd's quiet whispers, their excitement bubbling just beneath the surface. The stage was an intoxicating blend of colors and sounds, but every time she glanced at Jenna, the world felt like it shrank around her. Jenna launched into her solo, effortlessly stealing the stage with each pirouette. Emma could see the audience sway, captured under Jenna's spell. It was the part of the performance that was supposed to lead into her own entrance. Emma felt a nervous tremor build inside her as she waited for her cue. She could either let fear paralyze her or push it aside. She took a deep breath, remembering the training, the long hours in the studio, and her dream to perform. Why should she let Jenna's presence drown her spirit? Suddenly, her cue echoed in the air, and Emma shifted into gear, moving into position with the grace that had been honed over so many rehearsals. The bright lights flooded her, and as soon as she stepped into the spotlight, she pushed away her fears. The moment she began to dance, it was like stepping into a different reality. Every move connected with the music. The steps that had once felt foreign now flowed through her body effortlessly. She could hear her breath synchronizing with the rhythm, and surprisingly, all the tension ebbed away. When she caught sight of her mother, Lisa was wide-eyed, her smile practically beaming. That warmth washed over Emma, filling her with a realization this wasn't just about performing anymore. This was about sharing her passion, sharing a piece of herself. As her solo reached its climax, she could feel a shift in the energy of the theater. Gasps of awe rippled through the audience. Jenna's confident smirk faltered, and for the first time, Emma saw a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. She finished the routine and landed, breathless but exhilarated. The thunderous applause resonated in her ears, and the audience stood, mid-moment to cheer. Emma beamed, the weight of doubt lifting as she took in the noise surrounding her, a surge of belonging rushing to her heart. But just as she bowed, the lights flickered oddly. Emma glanced back at Jenna, who was now whispering furiously to one of the stagehands. Had she spotted an opportunity to steal Emma's spotlight? The kindness and support that had filled Emma moments ago were now clouded by a creeping doubt. Then it happened. As the show continued, Jenna's name started to circulate through the theater, and whispers of discontent filled the seats. Emma's heart sank. This wasn't the fairy tale ending she envisioned. Would Jenna lash out, disrupt the performance, and reshape the narrative? The second act awaited, but the stakes had risen, and Emma's resolve had to be unyielding. Would she stand her ground and not allow anyone to distract her from what she had worked so hard for? The thought ignited a fire within, but that fire was now matched by the uncertainty of how far Jenna would go. Emma took another deep breath as the curtain began to rise again. It was time for her to own her voice while the world shifted beneath her feet. Would the applause drown out Jenna's schemes or serve as a backdrop to her sabotage? As the lights dimmed again, Emma felt her heartbeat thrum with anticipation. What was Jenna planning? Would this night close in on her like a vice, or would she rise to meet the challenge head-on? Emma knew no matter what, she had to embrace this moment, even if it meant facing her deepest fears. The music swelled again, but this time it had an underlying tension. Emma felt a palpable weight in the air, heavier than before. All eyes were on her, and she could sense some expecting her to falter. The applause from her solo still echoed in her mind, but it was suffocated by the whispers now swirling around Jenna. As the scene changed and the dancers shifted, Emma pushed those thoughts aside. She had worked too hard to let resentment creep in. This was about dance, about expressing herself, not about eclipsing another's light. The second act started with a group ensemble piece, one that demanded precision and sync from every dancer. Emma settled into the rhythm, allowing her body to communicate with those around her. The music blended with the thumping beats of her heart while the spotlight shifted back and forth, illuminating Jenna and Emma in a delicate tug-of-war for attention. In a split moment, Emma caught Jenna's eyes. They were wide and wild, filled with something akin to desperation. Emma felt a flicker of sympathy. She had been that girl once, the one poised at the edge of the spotlight, fighting for a sliver of recognition. But sympathy twisted into resolve as she remembered her own hard-earned triumph. The number unfolded beautifully, with the energy rising around them. But in the back of her mind, Emma couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every shift in Jenna's posture, every flick of her hair became magnified, and soon, Emma's movements began to carry an edge of uncertainty. Just as they performed their final formation, something unexpected happened. Jenna, unexpectedly, stumbled during a leap, a miscalculated jump that sent her sprawling to the floor. Gasps filled the theater, and in an instant, the audience's admiration shifted. Emma felt a jolt of emotion surge through her, a mixture of shock and concern for her fellow performer. Jenna scrambled to her feet, her expression morphing from embarrassment to fury. The whispers intensified around Emma. Some murmurs criticized Jenna's performance, while others echoed Emma's name in awe. She felt the flush of a sudden spotlight again. Emma moved closer, instinct kicking in. She could take advantage of this moment, bury Jenna's slip and solidify her own success. But instead, she reached out, a hand extended toward Jenna. "Are you okay?" Emma was surprised by how steady her voice sounded amidst the chaos. Jenna paused, staring down at Emma's hand, the audience's attention momentarily suspended between them. Emma's heart raced. This wasn't how she had imagined the scene playing out. But she felt compelled to connect rather than divide. Jenna hesitated, gauging the room, and finally took Emma's hand, pulling herself back up. There was a moment of unexpected unity as they stood side by side. The audience responded with a collective gasp, surprised by the sight of two dancers entwined in an unspoken bond. Emma felt the warmth of the applause wash over them, echoing how they had both worked just as hard to be there, regardless of rivalry, but just as it seemed like a reconciliation was about to unfold, Jenna leaned in slightly, whispering something only Emma could hear, "This isn't over." The fire in her voice was unmistakable. The applause faded into the background, leaving a hollow edge. Emma's pulse quickened again. What did Jenna mean? Would her once-in-a-lifetime moment now become a battleground as well? As the lights dimmed one more time, Emma knew she had a decision to make. Would she step back and let Jenna's fury cast a shadow again, or would she continue to embrace her own potential, stepping boldly forward into the unknown? The tension in the air crackled like electricity, and Emma took another deep breath, bracing herself for what lay ahead. What would they do next? Would the dance become a fight for survival? Emma was ready to find out. The final act approached with a mix of excitement and anticipation. Emma stood backstage, the hum of chatter and applause from the crowd spilling in through the heavy curtains. The adrenaline was intoxicating, yet her mind darted back to Jenna's whisper. This isn't over. But this was not just about competition, it was about her passion, her love for dance, and the family bond she had forged with her mom, Lisa, throughout this journey. Emma steadied her breath, grounding herself in the moment. She had fought hard for this, now she had to harness all her fears and turn them into inspiration. As the next sequence unfolded, Emma felt the familiar rhythm pulse through her veins. Her heart raced in time with the music. The lights illuminated the stage, casting her in a glow that both scared and empowered her. She stole a glance at Lisa, whose eyes sparkled with pride. That spark ignited a fire within Emma, reminding her why she stepped onto that stage in the first place, because she loved dancing, and she loved sharing that joy with others. When her moment came, she stepped out, pouring every ounce of energy into her movements. She danced as if the world around her had faded, just her, the music, and the unyielding passion that had driven her since childhood. The memories of rehearsals, the late nights practicing in front of a mirror, and ultimately, the evening of the gala flooded her mind. During the performance, she felt Jenna's presence lingering nearby, but instead of fear, Emma found strength in the uncertainty. Each twist, turn, and leap became a testament to her resilience. And just as Emma began to settle into the thrill, Jenna leaped into the forefront, trying to eclipse her shine again. Watching from the sidelines, Lisa felt her heart leap. She saw Emma stand firm, her daughter wasn't backing down. She was rising, gleaming under the spotlight. The dance evolved into an exhilarating duet between Emma and Jenna. While Jenna had once embodied everything Emma wished to achieve, it became clear that this was now Emma's moment to shine. They danced in sync, mirroring each other's movements, but Emma ventured forward, transforming the rivalry into a powerful dance of unity rather than division. In that instant, the theater erupted. Joy radiated from the audience, and Emma could feel their collective energy lifting her higher. Jenna faltered, eyes widening in surprise at Emma's grit. Somehow, this transformation began to change the dynamics. The final notes of the music cascaded through the air. Emma shifted seamlessly to the front, landing her final pose with unmatched vigor. The applause grew into a thunderous embrace, and she could see half the audience standing, their cheers echoing louder than ever. The feeling of acceptance washed over her, wrapping her in warmth. Later, backstage, emotions flooded the room. Lisa rushed to Emma, pulling her into a heartfelt embrace. "You were sensational. I'm so proud of you." Emma's heart swelled, feeling her mother's love like a warm blanket around her. But Jenna approached cautiously. "Hey, Emma," she began, her voice softer than expected. I didn't expect that. You were incredible out there." Emma blinked, surprised by Jenna's change. "Thanks, Jenna. You pushed me to be better," she replied honestly. That moment felt like a release. They had both fought for their dreams, realizing together that there was enough space in the world for both of them to shine, united through the love of dance rather than divided by competition. That shared moment of vulnerability, Lisa stepped forward with a smile. You know, both of you have fantastic potential. What if you two collaborated on a project? Just imagine the energy that would bring. Jenna's eyes widened. You think so? I really do. Lisa encouraged. Emma grinned, feeling the new possibilities weave around them. We could do something amazing together, she said, excitement blooming. As the reality of their transformative night began to settle, the trio felt the thrill of new beginnings. They exchanged contact information, plans dancing through their conversation, infused with hope and newfound respect. Walking out into the cool night air, Emma and her mother shared a glance, their eyes sparkling with the promise of what lay ahead. This isn't just the end, is it? Emma said, tethering her mother's hand. No, it's just the beginning, Lisa confirmed, her heart soaring. As they drove home, the night lit up with stars. Each sparkle felt like a dream waiting to be grasped. Change was on the horizon, not just for Emma, but for them all. The next chapter of their lives shimmered ahead, a testament to bravery, a reflection of love, and the dance of life itself. Together, they were ready to face anything that came their way, and here's the part that's crucial. If you enjoyed this journey with us, you need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second. Hit that bell to make sure you never miss these exclusive stories again. Leave a like now. It's a simple way to support this channel. We want to hear from you, so comment your thoughts about this ending. Share your reactions and feelings. Let us fuel the conversation. And remember, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation unfold. This is the moment to show your support. Join us on this journey together.